Hello, dear friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Can you hear us? I hope you can. I hope that I can hear you too. We can try and see. I tried before class to see if it's working, but it seems that it's working. So you can speak, you can unmute and speak and see if it comes. Very happy to see you here, Jill, Yanis, Felipe, Fernando. Today, Simchat Torah, the happiness of the Torah. The happiness of the Torah is that they are living humans, yes, that could read and be inspired from the writings. And if you have any questions, you're most welcome to ask, to share your impressions, experience. Hello, Abigail. We're very happy to see you here. I would like to attend, meanwhile, until it comes to you, the questions or impressions. I would like to share a question from, I think, Sunshine this morning. She asked why usually in the Bible we find the name Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yes, in this order or in this structure, and not Abram without A, and instead of Jacob, Israel. She was wondering why this is happening, why the patriarchs order and in this structure. And I explained and said that those names are not just the names of the patriarchs, but behind those letters there's the value of that if we open the names, we find different, let's say, perspectives of being, as Jacob 7 times being, Isaac 8, and Abraham 9. So behind this, and those are not considered to be a biological patriarchs, but in Hebrew say avot. Avot, usually we would translate it into English, avot, as fathers, like if it would be just translations, fathers, yes? But avot means will. Ava, as a verb, it means will. It means will. So those are not patriarchs or fathers biologically, as people tend to explain, to understand, or to capture. It's basically a will. They are representing a will. Again, not biological fathers, not ancestors, as people tend to think and to translate as patriarchs, because sometimes in the literature, also in Vinery book, we find this, let's say, title or this poetic usage of patriarchs. It is not it. Yes? Avot, or 3 fathers, or Gimel Avot, as they appear in the Hebrew writings, Gimel Avot. Gimel Avot is not 3 fathers, yes? 3 patriarchs, and so, but it means will. Each one, again, it's not personality, just what symbolizes a will. A will. And this is why when we open, there is a plant, usually the 4 species. We did not mention this Sukkot, the 4 species. Yes, there's also those 4 species are being hosted in the Sukkah. One of them is Mirt, Hadass. Hadass is Mirt. And Hadass, the Mirt, has 3 leaves coming from the same source. I'm not quite sure that I'm writing it correctly in English. You can correct. Hadass Mirt. The 3 leaves, yes, that are coming from the Mirt are coming at the same time from one source. And we find in the writings that the 3 fathers, patriarchs, yes, are representing those 3 leaves that are coming from the Mirt. Yes, and those, the Mirt gives a good scent. So please, those are not personalities, Those are not historical figures. Yes, this is the mode of being. Do we understand it? Or shall I have to open like more pictures to explain it? So far it's understood. Those are different modes of being, basically. This is why in Exodus, yes. This is why in Exodus, in the burning bush, yes, there's a Va'era, Parashat Va'era. In Exodus, there is a conversation in the burning bush, and there is a consciousness speaks to Moses and says, and I was seen to the father, not to the fathers, I was seen to Abraham, El Avraham, El Yitzchak, I was seen to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, yes, in the revealed manner. But my name being is not known to them. Meaning, and what is written in this verse is not historical fact. Is the consciousness, is like what Sunshine asked. Her name is Joanne or Joe from Canada. And it is quite interesting because we tend to look at the names Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says name as Joan, as like, let's say, Alex or so. But if we open those names, each name represents being. And when there is a consciousness speaks to Moses, it says, my name being is not known to them. Pay attention. It's a manner or matter of consciousness. Do we understand that? It's like when there's a theater play, yes? And the audience sits in their seats and look at the actors playing on stage, yes? So there is one scenery which is look to the audience, but behind, yes, the stage, the curtain, there's a being, yes? But in front of the curtain to the audience, this is the becoming or the manifested. So people tend to see, yes, all of us tend to see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as manifested. And consciousness says to Moses, behind, yes, there's like being. This is why whenever we open those names, we see each value is capturing or is expression of being. Isaac 8 times, Jacob 7 times, Joseph 6 times, yes, in this manner. Yes, Abraham 9 times and so. Meaning all of us, but it's not about the patriarchs, yes? It's not about the Bible, it's about us. Here we have Yanis, yes? Yanis is, there is a manifestation, there's a, yes, a birth, yes? Birthday to Yanis, Luke is here, Felipe, Jill, Fernando, Abigail, Sydney. Yeah, all of us sitting here, we have names and the documentation when everyone has a birthday, So this is the manifested, yes? But in front of or before the manifested, the birth, there's to all of us, there's being. Do we understand that? It's not about the patriarchs, but through the Bible, we're trying to say or to express higher reality. It's just the Bible is the best way to express it. So all of us are being. And what comes to us, and this is it's a story that I will share in the next moment with you. What is troubling us all the time is the narration. This is the Egypt, yes, the story that we tell ourselves that we tell ourselves that we were born, and this is my name, and this is my country, and this is my language, da 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 dam, and this is the story of my life. Yes, from this comes a lot of agitation because it is not true. It is a manufactured story about Cindy, Abigail, Yanis, Luke, Felipe, Jill, Fernando, friends on YouTube. It doesn't matter. It's a manufactured story. This is what gives us the edge or agitated feeling that something else is going on and not this mechanical activity manufactured by the brain. And now it is interesting because when now we experience this in Israel, there's a war and rocket is the new kind of sport here. When you have to run all the time and look for a space to protect, there is no story. It doesn't appear because the first, let's say, response is to find a way to protect yourself. Yes, so this narration does not exist. Is that just here you can take a refuge, or you can hide from the next bombing, or you hear alert and where's the next door, where's the next concrete. So the narration does not have so much space to vent in. Yes, and in times of war, the narration does not exist at all. This is a completely. It's a great opportunity to see that it's manufactured. And here is a story, similar story, from another continent. Yes, but similar story. I heard it one day ago. It's from a man that for decades is going to Alcohol Anonymous. Yes, 12 steps, like to rehab, recovery. Yes. And he was saying to the host that I think he's a senior citizen in America. And he was afraid, he says to the host, all his life that his son will die. This was his prime fear. Yeah. And one day he had a phone call from the police saying that his son was hurt roughly by a car accident and he's already in hospital. And they're just keeping his body connected to machines to harvest the organs for donation. So basically the son is gone, but through the paperwork they're just extending, to enable to donate the organs. So after he received this call, he says to his wife, the name of the son is in troubles. He doesn't say immediately that he's gone. He says he's in troubles. And he called because he's under Alcohol Anonymous, so he has a sponsor, a support, a friend for a conversation. And he calls the sponsor and tells him what happens to the son. And from this phone call, until they disconnected the machine from the son, because within 4 days they could donate, to the right donors. So he says that in those 4 days between the phone call of the police and informing him about the hard, difficult accident until they disconnected the son from the machine, in those 4 days, he never even had one thought of having a drink. And he says to the host, for him, it's a bridge of time that in a way reflected to him what is in a way being. Because do you understand? He had the sense when we are, yes, people, let's say now struggling in war or in those hard conditions, like, this kind of tension of 4 days. And this is real. This is real. And once we don't have this contact with real, like there's a bombing, there's a rain, there's earthquake, those natural things that humanity and animals also have to deal with. When this is all the time is protected and being kept from us, those let's say intuitive jumps, yes, or response very fast just to keep life, those are being prevented from us because everything is ordered by institution. So this mechanism that usually works with a survival mechanism to protect our life goes against us and start to narrate inside and tells us stories about ourselves. Most of the misery of humans is this narration. I don't have enough friends, I don't have enough money, I have to make more money to move to a new apartment, to a new house. Yes, this is the narration that keep most of people unhappy, miserable, and so on. For itself, it does not exist. Life for itself is being, like a tree moves in the wind, birds singing, bees humming. Yes, all the rest is just what? Narration, translation, interpretation. And this makes people very, very much agitated. So much agitated, they look for a way out. We have now in our days escaping rooms. From what you need to escape? Escaping rooms. People go there, they take hammers or axes and they break everything. Or they take rifles and put colors in them and shoot those rifles. Or go into the darkness of those rooms and play like they're walking in a maze, escaping. From what? We are never in, so why do we have to escape from somewhere? It is always interesting here when you sit and you listen to the air. The air, sometimes there is a bird singing, yes, and sometimes there's like quiet, or sometimes there's a siren. And with the siren, it just goes like hallowing, and then you hear through the air if the air is condensed. If the air is condensed, there will be many rockets. If the air is not so much condensed, there will not be so many rockets. So you learn to listen to the air. I don't wish that anybody will have to stand in this position, but this is what you do when it's needed. Yes, I saw the movie, the name that you posted, Fernando, and thank you for posting. Thank you. I just we are waiting for a quiet time to watch a movie those days. We have to watch out. We are looking for quietness, like, because at the moment we have to be in alert. Most welcome. The air is beautiful today. I mean, there's a sunny day, quite hot, yes, and there's a very, very dry wind. Yes, hot and dry wind. This is like the last days of summer. I mean, Sukkot is really a representation of this movement from the summer into the fall. And it's not a religious thing, because before all religion, millions of years before us, people lived here on planet Earth. And this is much, much ancient than any religion. And this is beautiful. There is a beautiful text in the Babylonian Talmud, yes, that says that how we make the sukkah, or how do we build, like Fernando asked. So he says, what is coming from the garnery, like from the vineyard, yes, or the garnery, what is left from the field. And 2 days ago we saw the gardener, he was working here. He was shaping the olive tree and the rest of the plants in the, let's say, general garden of the neighborhood. And he left so many branches, and we just took them and brought them home and decorated the sukkah with palms and olives. And so to take from the nature is like what nature gives. This is the natural course of life. It's not religion. This is not religion. Yes, there is no waste. This is what nature gives. Yes, at the end of the summer, all the trees and the fruits are just ask, take from me, because there's a load. So to ease the load, like with the sheep, like shearing the sheep, we just we cut the wool to ease from them the burden in the summer. They don't need it. Yes, and we could make benefit from it, making wool. And until the next winter, they will grow a new wool. So this is nature. This is life. This is being. So it has nothing to do with religion. Nothing. This is what life is. This is the mode of being. This is when we walk with nature, we are part of nature. We are not like outside of nature. Yes? This is what happens. Yes, this is life. Those are the colors of the grain. You look at, let's say, fashion. Yes, fashion at the autumn. What colors do we have? Like brown, golden, orange, wine. This is what nature gives. So suddenly there's a frame around it. This autumn fashion. But look around. This is what happens to the trees. They're changing the colors of the leaves. The leaves are falling, and then you have like golden coins or golden leaves or buttons. I call them buttons, or falling leaves. Yes, this is what nature is, and we are part of it too. And it's not just that the trees, they let the dry leaf fall. Also us, we're just leaving behind what is not necessary for now. So what is not necessary is just gone. Yes, look, yes. We are the spirit. Yeah, you're reading it. Cindy, welcome to the world. Yes. What precede this book? Did you read in the beginning what delivered this book to become? I mean, to become as a message. There were 2 professors in I think New York University. Each day they were coming to work, each one of them just to hate the other. This is was their motivation. Yes, you remember? They used to wake up every morning and to go to university just to hate the other. Each one used to come to wake up. This is for motivation to wake up in the morning, to go to university, to work. Yes, in brackets, just to hate the other professor. And each one of them did it to the other until one day it exploded or whatever, and they wrote this book together. Yes, it's funny. I didn't know that when I read it, The Course of Miracles, I didn't know that it was written back then in the 70s. I didn't know that. Yes, only when I read about it, I discovered it was written somewhere in the 70s. There. Yes, there's only the spirit. Here's Rodrigo. There's only the spirit. There's only the spirit. And for sunshine question, because it comes together with the spirit. Abraham's name was changed from Abram to Abraham only 1 year before Isaac was born. Before, he had the name with 4 letters. Yes, when he was 99, he circumcised himself, and another letter was added to his name, and now his name is with 5 letters. And when we open this mathematically, it's like 9 times being. After 1 year, Isaac is born. God gives Isaac his name. Isaac, when we open it, is 8 times being. But we still relate to them as father and son. But in the moment of the binding on the mountain, when Abraham is prevented from from doing the act, he is prevented. He is stopped. What we can see, in a way, if we look at the names, 2 beings, not a father and a son, not a cause and effect, and when you open the names, they are, this is a being and this is a being, and those are not 2, and there's no father to sacrifice the son because there's no father. They're just being and being. This is it. This is just a spirit, all of us. Now comes the question, the natural question. If there's a spirit, yes, why all the time comes from the other side, the agitation of the brain? If all of us spirit with grace, why each and every one of us seemingly has like different body and a brain inside, yes, that agitates? Why? Why is that so? Why? Would you like to answer this question? Rodrigo, Yanis, Luke, Felipe, Jill, Fernando, Ogbai, Cindy, Abigail. Why is that so? Why? Because we are not separate entities. We are not. Yes. From the separation will come a negation. Yes? Negation of the separation and the spirit as one. Yes? All this process of life is to negate it too. Yes? It's beautiful. There is a verse, promise of to Jacob, because Jacob is afraid to go to Egypt in the years of the famine. So there's a dream that says, don't worry, yes, to descend to Egypt, and just to confirm that you will not be afraid. And Joseph will put his hands on your eyes. 1 second. Yosef, Yashit Yado Al Enecha. Yes, this is the promise. This is the promise for Jacob not to be afraid. He's afraid. He doesn't want to go to this lowland. Even with the days of the famine, he doesn't want to go there. So there's a dream that he has, and they say, don't fear to go to Egypt. And here comes a verse or a promise, and Joseph will put his hand on your eyes. What does this mean? What kind of a promise this is? What does it mean? And how does this verse communicate to our question? What does it mean that Joseph will put his hand over your eyes? When does scene happen? Usually happens in the movies. When do we see this scene in the movies? Where? Where or when? When somebody's putting his hand on somebody's eyes. In which moment? What is the scary part? Yes, Cindy, open. What is the scary part? There's a message here. What is the message? Yes? When do you see, or have you seen in a movie, that somebody's putting a hand on somebody else's eyes? When this scene is usually happens in the movie, in which moment? In which? Okay, homework, homework. Good, good. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Try to find this verse in the Bible. Try to locate it. Here it is in Hebrew. Try to locate it and see what is the context. Yes? Why do we mention it now? Homework. Usually what the eyes, yes, are symbolizing. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Yana, so much. Yes. What usually the human eyes, yes, are symbolizing. Remember Genesis 1. What are the human eyes are symbolizing? The human eye is capable of what? Seeing what? Only what? The manifest, yes. The way we see the world, yes. Yes, of course, linearly. Yes, this is how, yes, the eyes, human eyes, or not, also animals' eyes, yes? Linear perspective. Yes, video. Yes, exactly. Linear perspective. Now, what, and this is, yes, this is the eyes of Jacob. Yes, yes, yes. And what happens when those eyes, or our eyes in general, which are capable of seeing linearly, because this is how it works, yes, linearly. This is what the eyes are giving us, only a linear information. Yes, true, true. Now, what happens when we are closing our eyes? When the eyes are open, any eye of human, of animal, the eye is capable of receiving linear information. What happens when those eyes are being closed? When the eyes open, we are seeing something. Yes? A tree, a bee, an object. Yes? What happens when our eyes are closed? What happens? Yes. Yes. When the eyes are closed, yes? When the eyes are open, we can see everything, the whole manifested. Good, Jill. Good. Good, Ogbai. Yes. 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 Jill and Jan is very good. Very good. Yes. So when the eyes are closed, there's nothing. Consciousness in rest. Yes? Or nomenon. Or nothing. And when the eyes are open, everything comes. So, what happens? Yes, you're close, Cindy. You're close. Yes, 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 it is true. Yes, when the eyes are closed, yes, there's no linear information coming. This is nothing a holistic, in a way, moment. Holistic. So when Joseph, yes, and Joseph, when we open it, this is 6 times the tetragrammaton, or 6 times being, the spirit, put his hand on Jacob's eyes, and Jacob, the value of Jacob is duality. We can open it too, because this is 2 times God, Elohim, with the letters. In a way, the spirit, shows the flesh that all of this is a dream, and bring consciousness into rest. The spirit, yes, brings, because Jacob was saying to, while standing in front of Pharaoh, that short and bitter, or short and bad were his days, not as long as his father's. Again, Joseph, it's not Joseph as a persona, but the spirit. Yes, the spirit shows the manifested what? A complete picture, a non-linear picture of the world, which is truth. Not trouble, not famine, but complete vision. Because this is only a dream. The manifested is a dream. How do we know that the manifested is dreaming? Because we can see it. A dream that we dream at night is a visual information. Yes, Jill? Thank you for sharing it. Thank you. Jill, would you like to speak? Would you like to unmute? Can you speak? Do you know how to? Please. Yes, Jill. Yes. You are connected? Yes. Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes. Good morning. How do you do?
I'm doing good. It's good to hear everybody, or good to hear you this morning and see everybody. But yeah, you're explaining exactly what I felt like in April. Um, Everything just kind of changed, and then instead of me going through the feeling of the rupture, then I ended up being at peace and just becoming like an observer, and it just um, kind of like changed my life.
Into what
But
way? Yes, yes. You can
to
share me.
where to where it doesn't feel like my like I feel like I'm a babysitter now of my brain versus just letting it just run rampant and think whatever. And so yeah, it's just like when I was in the hospital, I was in ICU for like almost 2 weeks. And so in that time, you would think that I would be upset. And the entire time I was in complete peace, and all I would do would just listen to what, was going on around me. And there was a period of time where I was seeing double vision out of my eyes. And so one of my eyes was covered almost for
Mm-hmm.
5 full days to try to, contain the double vision. And then I don't know, it would just feel like um, I would just listen to what was being said, this what I felt like the spirit was saying, and just staying at peace. And I don't know, just that it just had to continue in my life. I just feel like I'm a babysitter now of my brain versus
It's
my
a
brain
great,
being.
it's a great definition, babysitter of your brain. This is the best,
Yeah.
best definition I have ever heard, just to babysit it. Because a
And
baby, yeah, it wants
this baby,
attention. Yeah,
yeah, this has been a good baby.
yeah, it's
This
a
this
good
baby's been a
one.
good baby. Doesn't like the changes in life, but that's okay.
It,
I can deal with some tantrums here and there. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting how everything that you were saying was like exactly like how I've been living for like the past probably 6 months, 6, 7 months.
mm,
So I really appreciate this conversation. It's done a lot to give me some perspective.
you're most welcome. It's like to gain a new life. Yes, because you're
Yes,
being born just in spring on April. Yes, you're being born and it's a new life. Yes,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's not from the perspective of the doer. Yes, that
right.
it's a new life, the spirit. You were born in the spirit, and everybody
Yes,
is is very happy to listen to your voice, Jill.
well, it's good to be back here.
Good,
But
good.
thanks for letting me share.
You're most welcome because it was so. I could not ask you for sharing because it's so profound, beautiful. Because now when we are have this, I mean, the spirit in a way takes charge because this takes this all the time. If the brain does not interrupt, this baby is not interrupting in the middle. The spirit is just moving everything, and there's a sense of gaining a new life, peaceful life, trusting life.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
absolutely agree. Yes.
yes. and and there's more space inside. I don't know what to say to enjoy, but to notice how immense life is around. Because if the baby is just shouting all the time in the front, you just focus to shut it down or whatever. And once when we take back, it just what a wonderful life we're living here. And how couldn't we notice this before? Because there was a shouting baby in the background. The baby was the brain. Or yes, but it's beautiful, just beautiful. Because it just opens in a way. It's like a stuck, yes, and it once you open the like a water pipe and there's a stone is blocking the way of the water streaming or in the river, and once the stone is being removed, you see the abundance of life. It's a great present. And thank you for sharing it, Jill. Thank you so much. All of us are just being, the bee, the bird, the tree, us, the air, the sea. Everything is just being. All the rest is a translation, interpretation. And with this beautiful message, and Jill sharing her experience here, and I encourage you to share experience that you have here. I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here, being in this space, enabling this beautiful conversation. I would like to wish each and every one of you Shana Tova because now the year starts. And in this coming Shabbat Saturday, we shall read from the beginning, the Genesis, like a new year starting. So we start again reading the Torah. So I would like to wish each and every one of you Shana Tova, great life, great new beginnings wherever you are. And we would like to also thank our friend here on YouTube. We can see you. We can see you. We wish you a good year, Shana Tova, beautiful life to all of you, to those who participate usually silently on YouTube, all of you, and we can meet here on Saturday in the same time, on the same time, at the same time, here with you, with your experience, with our being. Toda and Shalom.